Good morning, everyone. Today we discuss the random access file. Actually, this random access file is not given in your syllabus, but most of the time the question is asked on this topic, random access file functions. Only two topics are remaining, random access file and the command line argument. So first of all, we discuss about the random access file. Okay, random access file. Till we had learned the sequential access file. म्हणजे आतापर्यंत आपण सिक्वेन्शियल ऍसेस फाईल बघितली आहे आणि सिक्वेन्शियल ऍसेस फाईलचे फंक्शन्स बघितले. सिक्वेन्शियल मीन्स व्हॉट? सिक्वेन्शियल मीन्स all the records are read one by one after another. Means the first record is read, then second, then third, then fourth, then five, then six, then seven. This is called as the sequence. Means the sequentially one after another. But if you want to access directly the seventh record or the fifth record, then you have to use the concept of random access file. Means instead of going the first record, second record, third record, then fourth, and then five, this is the case of sequential. But if I want to retrieve, access directly the particular record, means the fifth record, then I use the concept of random access file. Random means any order. Suppose you have the 500 records in one file, and suppose I want to access the 454th record. Then I use the concept of random access file, because with this random access file, I directly jump to the 454th record. Not I am going like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 100, then 200, and then 454. No, this is a very tedious job or the time consuming job. So instead of going this particular sequential file, you refer the random access file. Random access means as and when you require, you just visit to that particular record and then you access, you read the particular content of that record. This is called as the random access file. Actually, there are the three different functions in case of the random access file. The first function is the ftail function. First function is ftail function, and the general syntax of ftail function is n equal to ftail fp. ftail fp. So what is fp? All of you very well know that fp means the file pointer. As we are learning the concept of file handling, it requires the file pointer. So fp is a file pointer. What is n? N is the integer variable. And what is the role of this ftail function? Ftail means what? Tail means it tells the position of file pointer. It tells the position of current position of file pointer, where the pointer stays. So suppose for example, I take one small example. Suppose I declare the file pointer, suppose file star fp. After that, I use the fopen function. So fopen, then the name of file is suppose student file, student.txt, and suppose I read it in a, I want to read the record, so I open this file into the read mode. We have already seen the different modes of file: read file, write file, and append file. If you want to open the file in read mode, then you use R. If you want to write, then you use the W mode. If you want to append, then you use the A mode. Okay, and after that, suppose I want to know that where is the file pointer, and suppose I use here integer n equal to ftail and then fp. Obviously, the answer is 0, because when you open the file in reading mode or writing mode, initially your file pointer is at the first location, so at the 0, so it returns the value 0. So this tail means to tell. Tail means it just informs you, tells you the current position of FP. Suppose if you have the 10 different records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5 records. If you open the file in read mode, then initially FP is at this location. Suppose if after doing some operations, in that student file, and suppose your pointer fp pointer is at the fourth location, and then you use integer n equal to f till fp, then obviously your output becomes the 4 because this fp is at the fourth position. So in this way, if you know the position of current pointer in a file, then you must use the concept of ftail file. This is the first function. Now the second function is the rewind function. The second one function is the rewind function, and all of you know that the concept of rewind. What do you mean by the rewind? And the general syntax of rewind is rewind into the bracket fp. fp means the file pointer. See, the meaning is very simple. All of you knows that the concept of rewind. Rewind means what? Beginning. Reset. Reset means you just set your pointer to the first location, to the very first position. This is called as the rewind. बघा तुम्ही बऱ्याच वेळेला ऑडिओ वगैरे किंवा अल्बम वेगवेगळे सॉंगचे तुम्ही ऐकत असतात, आणि जर तुम्हाला असं वाटलं की मी आता 5th सॉंगला आहे, 50th सॉंगला आहे, बट आय वॉन्ट टू हिअर द व्हेरी फर्स्ट सॉंग, पहिलं सॉंग मला ऐकायचंय, तर तुम्ही काय करणार? तुम्ही रिसेट करतात ना. रिसेट करता म्हणजे काय करता की बिगिनिंग पोझिशनला पाठवतात, बिगिनिंगला जातात, अगदी पहिल्या पोझिशनला. सो इन द व्हेरी सिमिलर वे रिवाइंड मीन्स रिसेट. Means if you want to go at the beginning of file, then you must use the rewind function. Means if after doing the lots of operation, if your file pointer is somewhere in the file, suppose at the 100 location, at the 200 location, and if you want to access very first record, the first record, beginning record, then you just use the rewind function, because always remember that with the help of this rewind function, your file pointer is set at the beginning of your file, and this is known as the rewind. Rewind means you remember it is a reset. And the last function, that function is the fseek function. Fseek. Seek means what? Search. Means if you want to search or if you want to move the file pointer at the particular specific number of bytes, then you must use the fseek. The general syntax of fseek is fseek fp offset and then position, offset and then position. Okay. So this is the general syntax. First of all, you understand what is the purpose of fseek. The fseek function moves the file pointer anywhere in the file. Suppose you have the 100 records in your file, and if you want to move the file pointer at the 55th record, if you want to move the file pointer at 55 record, then you can easily move your file pointer at the required record, 55th record, by using the fseek function. And that's why it is called as the random access file. If it is the sequential file, then you have to go through all the 54 record first. First record, second, third, fourth, 54, and then 55. But as you are using here the random access file, then you can directly jump to anywhere in your file. You can directly jump to any record in your file. And this is the purpose of fseek. Hello? Hello? What's the problem? Am I audible? Hello? Hello? Mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. The background noise disturbs me. So, in case of the random access file, the fseek function is generally used to move the file pointer to the required location or required position, or you can say to move the pointer to the number of bytes ahead or number of bytes back, forward as well as backward. Now we see all the parameters. fp means file pointer. Offset means what? Offset means a value. Offset means it is a value of the type long type, and this value offset indicates that how many number of bytes you want to move. म्हणजे तुम्हाला किती number of bytes त्या file pointer ला पुढे move करायचा आहे. Either you move that file pointer फॉरवर्ड और बॅकवर्ड, म्हणजे तुम्हाला पुढेही जाता येत आहे, मागेही जाता येत आहे. अँड दिस ऑफसेट मीन्स इट इज द व्हॅल्यू अँड ऑलवेज दिस व्हॅल्यू इज ऑफ द टाइप लॉंग. And the last is the position. For this position, there are the three different fixed values. If you want to move your file pointer for beginning, then you use the 0 value. If you want to move your file pointer at the current position, then you use the value 1. And if you want to move the file pointer from the end of file, then you use the value 3. So these are the parameter specifications, FP, offset, and then position. A very simple example. Suppose here I take one example. Suppose fseek, and I have one of the file pointer as FP. I want to move that file pointer 4 bytes ahead, and that's why here I use the value as a 0. What is the meaning? The meaning is that I want to move the file pointer to the 4 bytes ahead, 4 bytes forward from the beginning. 0 means what? Beginning. म्हणजे मला सुरुवातीपासून 4 बाइट्स पुढे मूव्ह करायचं आहे पॉइंटर. सो दॅट्स व्हाय हियर आय यूज हियर द 0. मीन्स फ्रॉम बिगिनिंग this file pointer fp will move 4 bytes in a forward direction. If I use here the minus value, then your file pointer goes reverse in order, goes back. So the another one example, suppose I take here fseek fp, and suppose instead of that I use here the -7l and then 2. So what's the meaning? The meaning is that I want to move the file pointer from the end. What is 2? 2 is the end position. From the end of file position 7 bytes. Means negative means reverse, back. If you provide here the negative value, then this file pointer goes backward. And if you provide here the value positive, then it goes forward. म्हणजे तुम्हाला पुढे पाठवायचं असेल तर यू कॅन यूज द पॉझिटिव्ह व्हॅल्यू, बॅकला जायचं असेल तर देन यू कॅन यूज द negative value. The meaning is that the file pointer fp is moved from the end of file the 7 bytes in a backward direction. म्हणजे तो 7 bytes मागे जाईल end of file पासून. So this is about the fseek function. Means if you want to move the file pointer anywhere in the file, then you use the concept of fseek function. It takes 3 parameters, fp, offset, and then position. fp is the file pointer. Offset means the value. Always remember that value always of the type long, and you just append the capital L to know the compiler. This is the long value. So 4l minus 7l, and then actually the value of offset is either positive or negative. If it is positive, then file pointer moves forward. If it is negative, then file pointer moves backward. And the last parameter is the position. Position means you have to specify from where you want to move. Either you want to move from beginning of file, or from the current position, or from the end of file position. So for that the 3 values are provided: 0, 1, and 2. 0 for beginning, 1 for current, and 2 for end. So likewise, you can move the file pointer either in forward direction or the backward direction. Okay. Now the next last point of this chapter is command line arguments. Command line arguments. So very important topic. Actually, this topic in every year you have the concept of command line argument. In SY, in TY, MSc, MCA, every year you have this topic, command line argument. So understand the meaning of command line argument. In each language, every language, the concept of command line argument is present. So first of all, you understand the concept of command line. What do you mean by the command line? See, actually there are 2 different kinds of operating system. The operating systems having the 2 different types. One is the character user interface, and the second is the graphical user interface. The character user interface operating system is the DOS, and GUI is the Windows that we use nowadays. The GUI operating system is the Windows. and CUI means character user interface operating system is the DOS, and command line means the DOS prompt. This DOS prompt is the command line. Suppose, for example, I want to give some command on a particular C prompt, then I issue the command on this prompt, and this is called as the command line. Command line means your DOS prompt. Because what is DOS? DOS is nothing but it is a character user interface. And what is a command line argument? Command line argument means the arguments which you provide from the command line to the main function is called as the command line argument. म्हणजे command line argument म्हणजे काय, तर तुम्ही तो जो प्रोग्राम असेल तो प्रोग्राम तुम्हाला डॉस प्रॉम्प्ट वरनं रन करायचा आहे. डॉस प्रॉम्प्ट वरनं रन करत असताना तुम्हाला इथे प्रोग्राम नेमच्या सोबत काही व्हॅल्यूज पास करायचे. अँड व्हेन यू पास द व्हॅल्यूज थ्रू द कमांड लाइन, then it is called as command line argument. And always remember that the command line arguments values are passed to the main function. So this concept is called as the command line argument. Command line argument means you always run this program through the command line by providing the input here. So what is the general syntax of the command line argument? The general syntax of command line argument is you just provide the parameter to the main function. So the first is the argument counter, and the second one is the pointer argv. Okay, and then you write whatever your code you write into the main function. But the important thing is that command line argument, it passes in the form of two arguments, argc and argv. Argument means what? Parameter. Parameter means in a very simple language, these are the variables that you pass from the command line. Okay, and whatever, suppose this is your C prompt, and suppose here this is my one program. Suppose the name of program is a sample program. Suppose I save this program as a in a file as a sample.c. Okay, then from the command line, how I run this program? I run the program by the name of program sample. Then suppose I want to just pass the parameter, and the parameters are, suppose I want to pass the marks of student, marks of the student for 3 subjects. So I use here the first subject mark 65, 70, and then suppose 45, and then just I enter. So what will be the output? This is your command line. The first parameter is program name. Then second, third, and fourth, these are the inputs that I want to give to the programs. And just I told you that these are the subjects marks of the student, 3 subject marks of the student. As and when I enter, press the enter key, all the parameters are passed through the main function. ARGC means what? ARGC means argument counter. What is the role of argument counter? The role of argument counter is it counts the number of parameters on a command line. How many number of parameters here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the output, the ARGC, it will use the value of ARGC as 4. Okay, because these are the 4 parameters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the command line. Then what is ARGV? It is the actual array or vector. Argument vector means the first value is sample, second value is 2, second value is 65, third value is 70, fourth value is 45. Means these are the, actually these all 4 values are stored into the array of the type character, and this is called as argument vector. So how it's stored? So in case of the output, it will give you the ARGV, then 1, or as it is the array, it can start from the 0 value also. Means this is the 0. Yes, actually I counted from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Internally in program memory, it stores from the 0th value. So here ARGV0, the value is what? Sample. Okay, then means this is 0, 1, 2, and then 3. Why 0, 1, 2, 3? Because internally the array elements are stored from the 0th position. For counting purpose, I just count 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So now the second output is ARGV1. At 1th location, the value is 65. Then ARGV, second location, the value is 0, 1, and 2. The value is 70. And the ARGV3, the value is at third location, value is 45. Actual values are 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this is the output. Clear? Command line argument. Always remember that the inputs are passed from the command line and it goes directly to the main function. The main has the two parameters in this case of command line argument. The first character is argument counter, that is ARGC, and it is of the type 4 integer. Why? Because it just counts how many parameters, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and therefore the output of ARGC equal to 4. And the second parameter is the argument vector. Vector means it is a kind of array. It consists of all the values one by one, and that's why it is of the type character array, character pointer array. So the output of this ARGV 0. As it is the array, internally it stores the first element at 0th position. So I write here 0. ARGV 0 equal to sample, then 1 equal to 65, 2 equal to 70, and 3 equal to 45. So this is about the command line argument. The basic concept that you should remember in your mind is that command line. What is a command line? This C. This is a command line. Means you have to run this program from the command line instead of Alt F9, Control F9, or whatever the shortcut keys to compile and run the programs. You can go to the command prompt, and from the command prompt, you just run your program by giving the first parameter as a name of program, and then the remaining parameters are your input values. So this is about the command line argument. And here our syllabus is over. This is the last lecture. If you want any more lecture for the revision purpose, then you tell me. I will organize the lecture in the next week. Actually, I will post you the question bank into the Google Classroom for all these 5 chapters, means for a whole syllabus. You can go through this. I stop here.